just like that. All right, it says we're live, Rumble and YouTube. So I want to verify that for myself. See what we got going on. So I see there's it's there on Rumble, but it's not playing. It says 0 waiting. It says 0. I'm here waiting. We'll try ScrewTube. See if we have this on ScrewTube. Looks like it. But no matter how many times I touch this, oh, now it's going to open. Now, finally. Usually I have to send it over to, oh, no. That's not even opening up the right one. I touched in the wrong spot. I want this one right here. But no matter how many times I touch it, it's not going to give it to me. I have to send it over to Telegram. Send it over to Telegram. All right. Now it's over here on my Telegram page. All right. What was that? Right. Now it's over here on my Telegram page. Oh, that might be Rumble. That might be Rumble finally. Now it's over here on my. All right, we'll close them all. Telegram page. Oh, that might be Rumble. All right, I'll turn this down. Now I closed everything. Everything's all closed. Permission, please allow access to enable notifications and establish a Bluetooth connection. What do I want that for? This is Rumble. I don't know about. All right. Good God. All right, we'll close this out. Close that out. What is going on over here? Huh. Okay, Rumble seems to be working now. Whew. Says there's 2 people here. That would be me and you. And it looks like the picture quality sucks. But that's all right. I want to see YouTube. We got YouTube. So, if you drop something in the live chat, either Rumble or YouTube, it'll show in both places. So, here we go. Get my cigarette going. I'm going to pick my lighter up, bring the lighter over here. My coffee. All right. The dentist, the oral surgeon, and the ADA. Wow. What a battle. What an incredible battle. Battles. And why? Why is this going on? And why are you not enjoying good oral health? Why are you suffering with tooth decay? plaque, calcified plaques, the home for bacteria, infectious bacteria. It gives you the cavities, that makes your gums recede, makes your gums bleed, gives you the bad breath. Why aren't you benefiting from good oral health? The 2000 Surgeon General's report stated you cannot be healthy without good oral health. 25 years later, how come you suffer poor oral health? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you part of the reason why. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons, and they're not good ones. No, they're not good ones. And they have dumbed us down. And they have indoctrinated us. You know, one thing I heard reported, and it's not too hard to believe, is that when cigarettes were getting a bad rap, because it used to be doctors would tell you how good it is for you and tell you what brand they smoke, and be wearing their white coats and doing the TV commercials, and you had all the manly men smoking, and but then all of a sudden smoking became a bad thing, and apparently the tobacco companies got into the food industry, where they worked their fuckery to make the foods addictive and unhealthy. And like, this is a report I hear. Not too hard to believe. But you see, back in the day, before, in a time when people ate, they didn't get their shit in the grocery store. They didn't have genetically modified shit. They died with a full set of healthy teeth. They dig these bodies up, and beautiful, full set of teeth. So there's a lot of reasons why. Now, one of the biggest contributors to poor oral health is plaques. Plaques and calcified plaques. Now, plaques are formed by carbohydrates, saliva, and bacteria. And the plaques become a home and a breeding ground for the bacteria. What bacteria? The bad bacteria. Oh, so one of the comments was, Ethan, can you explain how you know so much about oral health? Were you a dentist? Did you work in a dental industry? No. I never went to college, thank God. Never went to college. Barely got through high school academically. If it hadn't been for auto shop and wood shop and photography and acting, I would have had failing grades. But my senior year was almost all auto shop or other non-academic classes. So I have lived an interesting life. I have done a lot of things. I have been an entrepreneur since the age of 5. I have been a businessman, entrepreneur basically my entire life. And so that means, well, one of the things that I adopted early on in my life was I would rather ask for forgiveness if needed rather than ask for permission to do what I wanted to do. So if I wanted to do it, I calculate the risk, uh, then there you go. So sometimes it doesn't work out so good. You end up in bandages or a cast or, worse. But man, the successes, uh, holy fright. You, that's living. Winning. Winning is, you can be a loser today. You can be last place today. And next year, 2 years or 3 years down the road, you can be first place. So at any rate, back to the oral hell, that I have gone through, and the oral hell that you're living. Why? I scientifically prove cannabis formulations remove calcified oral plaques, prevent calcified oral plaques, rejuvenate lost gum tissue, prevent gum tissue loss, puts a protective coating on the teeth that is impermeable to acidics. All facts. And I had proved this to myself around 2014. And by 2015, I was talking about it quite a bit in my shop. I had a cannabis provisioning center outside of Kalkaska, out in the middle of nowhere. And it took a long time to build up a business, but I had built up quite a business, I will say, and I miss it. I miss it. So I'm talking about my experience, and people are taking the product, and they're reporting back to me. And one fella who was I met him because he was a farmer, and he was looking for a place for his goods. And I was always looking for farmers that had goods. So this man says to me, he says, I talked with my dentist, and we are willing to put your claims to the test. We're willing to put your claims to the test. So I gave him the mouth rinse in a tincture bottle. I'm going to grab one over here. I'm seeing this sitting on the wood stove. I grabbed these out of the car today. I was in the car for something else, but for whatever reason, I grabbed these. Maybe I'm going to do something. So I give him a couple of dropper bottles of the mouth rinse. And you only need a little bit. You only need a little bit. Basically, you fill this dropper up or halfway up, and then you put it in your mouth and you suck off what's on the outside and you squeeze off what's on the inside and you put it back in. And I told him, like I told everybody, don't change your habits. Don't change your habits. Whatever you do, keep doing it. Whatever your drinking habits are, whatever your eating habits are, whatever your recreational activities are. Don't change a thing. Keep doing what you do. That way, it eliminates any position that, well, that was because of this and that was because of that, right? So I told him, brush your teeth or use it after you brush your teeth. I figure he brushes his teeth twice a day. I come to find out he brushes his teeth once a day. After 30 days, the results were so incredible that the dentist wanted to get involved in clinical trials. And I was given these pictures, and this is going to be hard for you to see, but it's very good, easy to see over on my website or over on my Telegram channel. And so the top picture, he chewed the plaque disclosing dye, trying to get the glare out. He's got a bridge, a partial on top, but you can even see the plaque on the gums. This is what you see after 30 days, once a day. Back in the dentist office, chewed the plaque disclosing tablet. And so at that point, the dentist, at that point, the dentist says, I can't say anything good about it right now because some of the pocket depths have increased. Well, did the pocket depths increase or did the gum tissue rejuvenate and had not yet attached to the tooth? Was there plaques below the gum line that disappeared and made a difference? Well, at 60 days, well, okay, at 45 days, which is like 10 days after I got the pictures, 15 days after I got the pictures, 10 days, something like that. I've had these pictures 2 weeks or less. And here come the authorities because the DOJ has ordered this. They've ordered the attack. So they raid my business, they raid my home, they ignore the court order to set me up. They leave almost everything that they should have taken, but they took my guns, they took my money, they took the 4-wheel drive truck that had just put a lot of work into. They took a car, a nice car. They took a 30-foot triple axle enclosed trailer. They froze my bank accounts, put me out of business. Why? Because I had these pictures. Because people were listening to me and they were enjoying better oral health. But you can't have that in America. Fuck no. No, you got the bar. British accredited registry. Your Department of No Justice. You got a rogue military. Rogue since at least 1871. At least 1871. Warring on the American people with the American people. Slaving the American people. Warring on the world with the American people. Those are facts that you can verify for yourself. So all of a sudden, my environment is not safe. My environment's not safe. I'm under assault from some of the most powerful forces in the world, but they're coming in with the county and state level dogs. Well, so I've had 3 evaluations. This one, the pictures I just showed you, I don't need to hold them up again. Those pictures I just showed you, I say just. I more than just showed them to you. The pictures I showed you are from 2015. The next evaluation I got was 2016. Now I'm patent pending. I'm patent pending in early 2016. I seeked out a biochemical patent attorney. And I made my way to Washington State. Why? Because Washington State was offering a marijuana research license. Until about 2 months after I got there. No more. Can't have that. No. I've talked extensively about this stuff in the past. There's a lot to it. So I don't want to belabor, because I want to get to the present. But a lot of you folks are hearing this for the first time. And some of you folks, the refresher ain't going to hurt you at all. So there's that. The next evaluation I got was in 2016. And there we got gum tissue rejuvenation. Clear. And the crazy thing is, there was a tooth over here with an exposed root. And I'm not even paying attention. This is my wife. My wife, who has always been one toke Donna. One toke. That's it. Maybe two. The first time she did a concentrate, did the little dab, half the size of a BB. She's hallucinating, seeing purple turtles and pink tutus dancing. So she was resistant, and so she surprised me. She said, "I want to try the mouth rinse," and my life was a living hell. And I was glad she wanted to try the mouth rinse. So, but she had this habit of putting her finger in her mouth, right over here. And I always thought it was kind of cute. But I never asked her anything about it. What she had was an exposed root, and she would click on the ridge with her fingernail. Kind of a little habit. Well, she was using the mouth rinse for about a week, and she's flossing her teeth. She says, "My gums aren't bleeding." Oh, cool. After about a month, she's got her finger in her mouth. She says, "I can't click my tooth." "What do you mean you can't click your tooth?" "I can't click my tooth." I said, "Are you telling me that you had an exposed root and you no longer have an exposed root?" She said, "Well, that's what it seems like." This is when I started taking pictures. And in the front of her mouth, there was no sign of gum tissue loss. But from the time I started taking pictures, keep in mind, she's already experienced an exposed root, completely covered. So how much had rejuvenated in the front of her mouth in that time? I don't know, but that's when I started taking pictures. And from there forward, The results are incredible. And then we ran out of the mouth rinse. And because I'm dealing with the courts, potential life in prison, which I'd have been dead by now. Certainly, because I was on my deathbed with poor oral health. I was. And so that's the second evaluation I got. That was 2016. The third evaluation I got is 2020, maybe 2019. It was after I came back from Jamaica. And it was a fella who owned a facility in the growing processing district. And you think he experienced gum tissue rejuvenation. He won't bring it forward. No one will bring it forward. This is why you today suffer with poor oral health, because it's a racket. It is a racket. Dr. Thomas Levy explains that there's 2 to 6 miles in the root, 2 to 6 miles of tubal in the root of every tooth, where bacteria can sit side by side. Bacteria and fungus, or bacteria and fungus. And there's no immune system. There's no flow through those tubals like there was when the nerve was alive. And Dr. Thomas Levy, a heart surgeon, speaking at an international oral health conference, tells these fucking brain dead policy people, the oral health elite, right? That when it's in a molar, the immense pressure from chewing is more effective than a syringe at delivering that lethal toxin into the lymphatic system, and it can be a cause of virtually any inflammatory condition. And that he finds oral plaques in the high pressure ventricle of 9 out of 10 patients. He's a heart surgeon. Remember, the Surgeon General said you cannot be healthy if you do not have good oral health. Dr. Levy goes on to explain that his work in the dental field proves every root canal tooth is a toxic tooth. 100%. And the ADA, the American Dental Association, is very proud of 40 million root canals a year. Every one a toxic tooth. Poisoning 24/7, 365. Poisoning 24/7, 365. Who the fuck can get away with poisoning Americans in America? Oh, the British. The ADA is British formed, British created, British operated, and British run. It's bar agents, British accredited registry. That's who gets to poison Americans. 40 million permanent toxic factories installed, compliments of the ADA annually. That's 400 million in the 10 years I've been working to bring oral health with cannabis forward. And this practice is protected, of course, by the bar. The bar, the DOJ. And it's forced by your county sheriff and your state police and your city police. Policy, policy, policy. There is no license to practice law. Fact. Find your state department that issues a license to practice law. All right, so 2016. I know that Dental Clinics North, Mansalona, has digital pictures of my wife's mouth because she was there about 6 months prior. And they, at that time, they were taking digital pictures. I went to get the digital pictures with my wife. Why do you want these? I explained. Then comes an email telling me, threatening me that if I ever speak of this again in their office, I'm barred for life. Now I can't talk about my oral health openly and honestly with my healthcare provider. We got the pictures on a disc digitally, but not the tooth of interest and the lowest resolution possible. All right, so for a few years, Dental Clinics North continued to give me dental service, and I kept my mouth shut. And I didn't have cannabis formulations. And I had a mouth full of toxic teeth that were bacteria factories, plaque factories. So now I'd also, just prior to going to Jamaica, been to Birch Street Dental for a tooth extraction. So I'm a patient at Birch Street Dental. From at least 2019. I'm gonna get a drink of coffee here. That's good and wet. I'm gonna light up another cigarette. So I'm established patient at Birch Street Dental, Kalkaska, where they have 4 dentists. Dental Clinics North, Mansalona has a lot of dentists as well. So now we can fast forward to about 2.5 years back from this date. I mean, today's date. This is, what the hell's the date today? August 5th or 6th, 2025. August 5th, I think. So, hell, I can tell. All I gotta do is look. August 5th, there we go. About 2.5 years back, that would be 25, 24, 23. Sometime in 23. This tooth here, well, it's gone now, I think. Abscess. And for any of you ever experienced an abscess tooth, that's very uncomfortable. Well, that pain eventually passed. I my situation was not allowing me to get to a dentist. And I knew that I had to get to a dentist because I got a toxic tooth in my mouth. And I have had all my toxic teeth removed. And I was in this amazing health recovery. I've recovered from 40 or 40 plus chronic conditions. I've gained 3/4 of an inch. I regained 3/4 of an inch of height. I lost 2 inches. I've regained 3/4 of an inch, recovered from 40 fucking chronic conditions. Two and a half years ago, I didn't have my mouth rinse. Any of them. And I need this tooth removed, and I can't get to the dentist because of the situation, the way it was, very dangerous. Well, about 6 months later, I had a very painful experience. And I had something very sharp way in the back that was ripping at my tongue. If I talk, if I chew, if I swallow, like a sandwich toothpick kind of sharp, ripping away at my tongue. I'm thinking it's a root tip. And I'm pissed because I have insisted, leave nothing behind. Leave nothing behind. No dead body parts. I don't want no dead body parts. Get it all out. And sometimes they had to dig pretty good. But turns out it was not a root tip coming up. What it was a bone spur. So I had called Dental Clinics North because they'd been taking pretty good care of me, I thought, to see do they still have same day emergency service, because their policy had been for years, you get here as early as you can. You might have to sit here all day, but we will take care of you before the day is over. She said, well, yes, we are still offering same day emergency service, but we don't have any days available for a week. Oh, good God. So I suffered through this for another week. I now at this point, I'm there at the dentist office early in the morning, and they tell me, they said, we'll give you an emergency evaluation, but no service. I'm like, well, why am I here? Well, you might want to call some other dentists, and start scribbling down some names of some other dentists. So I like, fuck this. And I start driving back to Kalkaska. I'm going to Birch Street. And on the way to Birch Street, or maybe even I started in the parking lot calling some of these dentists. They wouldn't answer their phone. They wouldn't answer their phone. So I get to Birch Street Dental. Now it's still early in the morning. And Birch Street Dental offers same day emergency service. Well, they asked me if I'd come back in the afternoon. Something like a 2:20 appointment, and they wanted me there 20 minutes early. Why they want me there 20 minutes early, I had no idea. Well, I do now. They burnt my records. So they're going to treat me as a new patient. I got there 10 minutes early. Sat in that fucking lobby for for an hour, hour and a half. They come out and say, Ethan, do you know we canceled your appointment? No. Well, we made a new one for you. You can come back now. Where they racked up a huge bill. I rack up a huge bill that Humana paid and then refused me any fucking service. Every service. I asked him if he would knock the point off of that bone spur. No, no, no. I said, I got this dead tooth here. I want it extracted. Now, keep in mind, they did panoramic x-rays. They did individual x-rays. This tooth is leaning over. It's dead. Old Moby pushes on it with his finger. He said, there's nothing wrong with that tooth. I said, where's your gentle pulse pulp detector? The look of panic on Moby's face. Like, oh my God. Like a fucking $30, $40 tool that 4 dentists don't have. That will tell you if that tooth is dead or alive by passing an electrical current through it by virtue of a 9-volt battery with a dial from 0 to 10. If you feel it on a 1, you got a very healthy tooth. If you don't feel it on a 10, you got a dead tooth. Where is your gentle pulse pulp detector? The look of panic on Moby's face. At this point, they can't get me out of there fast enough, right? So Moby says to me, he says, do you chew tobacco? I said, yeah, I chew tobacco. He said, well, I want you to stop chewing tobacco and come back here and see me in 2 weeks. They didn't give me a 2-week appointment. They gave me like a 30-some day appointment. I got to wait a month. And I'm supposed to stop chewing tobacco. These fucking British agents, these fucking policy fucks. First thing I did was take some fucking chewing tobacco and put it between my tongue and the bone spur. Relief. At this point, I'd had access to my oral rinse only recently. And with my fingernail, I picked and picked and picked and picked at that fucking bone spur until I cracked the fucking end of it off. And I kept chewing tobacco between my tongue and the bone spur so that my tongue would heal. And I used my cannabis formulations so that my tissues would heal. And so what am I going to go back to Moby for? They're refusing me every fucking service. I said, I want an evaluation on my teeth. Well, you need a tooth cleaning. Okay, give me a tooth cleaning. No. No. We're not going to clean your teeth. We're not going to give you an evaluation on your teeth. We're not going to pull the tooth that you think is dead. The tooth I know is dead. The tooth that the x-rays show are dead. We're not going to knock down the bone spur. We're not going to give you any service at all. Well, there was a period of a month there where, see, they like to use text messages. They started out after that first day of doing nothing, wanting me to fill out a customer satisfaction survey. So this started a text exchange that went on for about a month, where they never answered one question. Will you have a gentle pulse pulp detector when I arrive? Can I have a tooth cleaning? Don't worry about the bone spur. I took care of that. I checked the chat. Nothing in the chat. So Dental Clinics North forcing me to live with a dead tooth. Not only the 2 to 6 miles of tubal in that tooth, where bacteria can sit 5 side by side and morph into very deadly toxic bacteria, be a cause of virtually any inflammatory condition, of which I have been massively recovering. Now I am being forced to live with this toxic tooth because of what? The British Dental Association, the ADA, the British Dental Association, the DOJ, the British No Justice System. Oh, good God. So I start making phone calls. I call Humana live on YouTube. One of my last calls with Humana, I found out they burned books. They have no reference numbers. However, on YouTube, you can listen to Humana create and recite. You can verbally hear the reference numbers, but they burned the books, see? And Humana has done nothing except harass me with text messages wanting to know about the health care I receive and how can they help. So there's a lot of that. There's so much to this story. I'm trying to skip through and hit some of the highlights, but there's a lot. There's a lot I'm not covering here. So, about a year and about a year has gone by. Me calling Humana live on YouTube. Me calling dentists live on YouTube. I got a fellow that's been following me for a while contacts me and says, Ethan, I can get you an appointment. Well, this was right around the holidays, end of year holidays, Christmas, New Year's, like that. So it was, I'll get with you after the holidays. Well, he didn't get with me after the holidays, and I can't get a fucking dentist appointment. I can't get any help from Humana, and out of desperation, about a year later, I called him and he said, yeah, I can get you an appointment. So that's when I learned that Humana has a database that lists every fucking dentist in every location, tells you whether that dentist is in network with Humana and whether or not that dentist is accepting new patients or not. So this man was able to make a call, say, I'm so and so with such and such an agency. I see here you're in network with Humana. Is that correct? Yes, that's correct. It says you're accepting new patients. Is that correct? Yes, we're accepting new patients. We're in network with Humana. Well, I'm advocating for a man. Can I get him an appointment? Yes. All right. So now it gets turned over to me. And we're right back to square fucking one. They're going to do no fucking service. None. Zero. And the woman is a cunt. I mean, she's a bitch. Rude. And so I said, okay, we got to move to writing. No, maybe it wasn't right. Maybe I called. I wanted the office manager. I think that's how it went. I wanted the office manager. I had a good conversation with the office manager. Office manager went to bat for me. Now, text messaging and emails back and forth started happening. The dentist and I had a phone conversation that I recorded. I was recording, and at the beginning, he said, "You can record this if you want." I didn't need his permission to record it. I didn't need his permission to record it. I was recording, but he gave his permission. And I explained a lot to him. I explained a lot. And he said, "Nothing you have said is scaring me off." And he agreed after I took pictures of my teeth and sent them over, explaining I should have no calcified plaques. I have stain, and I don't want to lose any more teeth. If I have degraded fillings, I want that taken care of. If I have decay, I want that taken care of. I want a cleaning and an evaluation. So they scheduled me with a 2 to 3 hour appointment. Now I got a huge problem. I need eyes here while I'm gone, and I need transportation. Oh my God. What I went through to get that arranged and the bullets that I sweat. But it happened. It happened. Now, I left the office and I was told by the dentist that the office manager is going to schedule me my next appointment and schedule me with an oral surgeon. Weeks go by. No appointment scheduled. No word. Like, motherfucker. um, so we start again with the phone calls and the emails and the text messaging. And ultimately, finally, after a month had passed, about a month had passed, they've scheduled me with an appointment to do actual restoration on 2 teeth and message me that I'm on my own to find an oral surgeon. I'm like, oh my God. You gotta be fucking kidding me, right? Gotta be fucking kidding me. So I let them know that Humana has been working against me for years, and that's letting them know again, because they know about the calls to Humana on YouTube. They know about the live calls with Birch Street Dental on YouTube. They know about the text message exchange with Birch Street Dental, Verizon text messages that were wiped from my phone. How the fuck do you do that? So, a little bit later, I have an appointment scheduled with that dentist for restoration on 2 teeth and an appointment about a month later with an oral surgeon. Now, I am expecting I'm going to be making multiple trips to this dentist, that this is not going to be my last appointment. And And before I got there, I got an email from the dentist. I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to read it to you. Ethan, looking forward to your appointment tomorrow. Just a heads up. Please do not bring any free samples of your magic mouthwash. It would be inappropriate for us to accept it. Further, as a heads up, one of my assistants is related to local law enforcement officer. You see where his head's at? She normally doesn't work directly with me, but will likely be within earshot for some of the earliest parts of your appointment. Like I'm a fucking criminal! Like I'm a fucking criminal! A low-life rat! A fucking scum-sucking piece of shit! You better keep your mouth. You better be careful, boy. One of my assistants is married to law enforcement. Don't you dare. Don't you dare bring your scientifically proven, patented, do not bring your scientifically proven, long patented mouth rinse. He calls it mouthwash. Do not bring it. It would be inappropriate. My assistant is with law enforcement, you fucking scumbag. You turd. That's what that says to me. You turd. You piece of shit. You better be fucking careful. My assistant is married to law enforcement. Fuck law enforcement. Fuck law enforcement. Fuck every fucking sheriff's department. Fuck every fucking policy fucking department. State policy, city policy, township policy, federal policy. Fuck all. British agents denying you good oral health, giving you toxic oral health. All right. Now, at my first appointment with the dentist for cleaning, and the dentist did the cleaning. And I want to say that both of these men are about my age. I'm guessing. They're probably both boomers. And professional. Probably as good at carving on teeth and patching up teeth as any of them, right? But morally bankrupt and spineless. They don't have a dental practice. They have dental policy procedures, dental procedures and policies. They do not have a practice. And they live in fear. They live in fear of what? The ADA, the FDA, the DEA, the DOJ, British agents, their own kind, their own fucking kind. That's who they're afraid of. They should be afraid of you. They're definitely afraid of me. They're definitely afraid of me. These motherfuckers are British agents poisoning Americans. And they get a free pass. And they get protection by the DOJ. They get protection by the FBI. They get protection by the county sheriff. They get protection by the state police. They get protection from the village police, the fucking township police. All the bar agents, all the judges, all the attorneys, all these British agents. They get protection for poisoning you. And what the fuck is a doctor? A British agent, a poison control expert. That's what they do. They prescribe poison. The leading cause of death is reportedly prescriptions properly filled, properly prescribed, properly filled, and properly taken. The third leading cause of death is reportedly psychiatric drugs, properly prescribed, properly filled, and properly taken. Who gets to poison the American people to the point of leading cause of death? British! The fucking British! Good God. All right, now I'm going to read you something else. Part of an email. It's part of an email from the dentist. All right. The stain was found to have its highest affinity for composite restorations, with tooth 13 having the perfect outline of a restoration visible. But the nature of the restorative material not evident until the stain was cleaned off with ultrasonic cleaning, hand instruments, and polishing with Prophy paste as part of the adult Prophy completed today. The stain was dissimilar from normal stain calcified accretions. It had a heavy resin consistency, a tarry coating to the adhered tooth and or restoration surface. It is reasonable to consider, this is important here. It is reasonable to consider that this is how Ethan's magic mouth rinse is limiting plaque and calculus accretion and minimizing any inflammatory response. Minimizing, and inflammatory response. I said any. Correction. And minimizing an inflammatory response. By adhering to the tooth structure, perhaps the plaque bacteria is limited in its ability to adhere to the tooth to survive as a successful gingival infecting bacteria. By adhering to the tooth structure, perhaps the plaque bacteria is limited in its ability. He's talking about the mouth rinse, adhering to the tooth, limiting the plaque bacteria ability to adhere to the tooth to survive as successful gingival infecting bacteria. This is 2 pages. I'm only reading you 2 paragraphs. Next paragraph. Ethan reports tenderness to pulpation of the bone equal to 221. The tooth appear to be predominantly composite resin restoration material with clinical evident failed margins below the gum line, appearing radiologically at the level of bone. This tooth should be removed or endodontically treated if Ethan wishes to save the tooth. No fucking way. To use in future restorative operations. The loss of the tooth results in loss of remaining left side. So, in his report, he said no calcified plaques. But Ethan, your next appointment, do not bring samples. Do not bring free samples. Because in Michigan, in the slave world, in the fiction world, we have recreational marijuana, where any slave can gift to another slave as long as they're both adults. We also have medical marijuana, where you can get a registration card to be a medical marijuana patient. But we have recreational marijuana. I can gift this to you. I can gift this to you. Do not bring your magic mouth rinse into our office. It would be inappropriate. Where the fuck would it be appropriate, motherfucker? Where would it be appropriate? The Department of Justice knows about it. The National Institute of Health funded $1.8 billion to rejuvenate gum tissue and failed, and then buried the fucking report. You can't find it anymore. It's been burnt. It's been wiped from the fucking internet. It is fucking gone, but they did it. $1.8 billion. Ignored my science, ignored my intellectual property, ignored my fucking right to industry, deprived you, the bankers, attacked a Canadian outfit in the cannabis business that was setting up in Jamaica. They committed to me. They had $16 million in private investment. They got setting up an operation in Jamaica. The United States bankers froze their accounts. It took them the better part of a year to get over that and to get me to Jamaica, where the United States government fucked with them and fucked with them and fucked with them until I came back 6 months later. Because when nothing was going to happen. And at that time, they didn't know what was going on was because of me. If they would have put that together, 16 million frozen, a year to get over it, they would have never got me to Jamaica. Then even after I'm in Jamaica for 6 months, nobody knows. but it all became very evident. And so, all right. So now I've gone back to the dentist. I've taken no samples with me. I'm thinking it's not my last time there. So I'm ready to just let him take care of business. I've been years fighting every fucking day, living with this fucking toxic tooth every fucking day. Years. I want shit done. So that's my primary mission. And come to find out, it's my last appointment. He's done. He did 2 restorations. Oh, and guess what? Humana paid zero. Humana will fucking let a dentist rack up a huge fucking bill for examination, panoramic x-rays, regular x-rays, office visit, fucking anything else they can throw in there. Well, when it's time to pay for tooth restoration, fuck you, Ethan. Fuck you, Ethan. So I had multiple conversations with this dentist. And I told him multiple times, the ADA put it in writing in 2016 that they will not look at this unless a dentist, an ADA dentist, recommends it. He said, Ethan, there's nothing I can do. What? There's nothing you can do? I dropped it. My reaction now is me to you. I dropped it. He's obviously morally bankrupt and spineless. I know that he can write because I got a 2-page PDF of the evaluation. I got email saying, do not bring your mouth rinse. It would be inappropriate for an oral health care practitioner to have anything to do with a mouth rinse that removes calcified plaques, prevents calcified plaques, rejuvenates gum tissue, prevents gum tissue loss, and puts a protective coating on the teeth that's impermeable to acidics. Kiss my... What fucking world do we live in? So, now it's wait a month to see the oral surgeon. And again, I got to arrange eyes here and transportation for me there. And I'm so alone. And this, what a worry. But it finally happened. It finally happened. And so I explained a fair amount to the oral surgeon. In a very short period of time, showed him 3 sets of pictures. I walked out of that office without a single piece of paper. Nothing. And obviously, he can do nothing. He can do nothing. And because all of you sit on your fucking ass and will not stand with me, can't even fucking send registered mail. What if that motherfucker received 100 registered letters? and each one of them had a link to this video, YouTube or Rumble or both, or send them an email. Huh? What if 100 of you did that? You know, you don't know. I'm going to tell you. When Birch Street Dental sent their second to last correspondence, excuse me. Oh, I've hardly done any talking. I haven't spoken with anybody since my appointment on the 31st. I don't think I've spoken with anybody. Possibly I've had one conversation, but I think I put out a video. I did. The gag is off. So this talking is working up a little bit of a week's worth of phlegm. Cigarette will help clear that up. It will. So both of these men, professionals, both of them morally bankrupt and spineless, like every other motherfucker that I've run across, like Sheriff Fat Fuckford, Kalkaska County Sheriff Fat Fuckford, and his Under Sheriff David Wagentails, and Chief of Police, Kalkaska Village Chief of Police, Poopy Pants Popa, and British agent Lynn M. Butt Day, and the court clerk Debbie Hill, another British agent, and Ziggy, the county prosecutor, and Perot, the former county prosecutor. None of these fucks can face me. They can't. They want me dead. And this is why you suffer with poor oral health. Now, I have the phone transcripts and emails between the patent attorney, R. Reams Badlow, and Patent Office Examiner Michael Mueller, where Goodlow and Mueller conspired to work against me, and they worked against me for years, billing me and making me answer stupid motherfucking questions that never made any sense. And then finally, a final office action, patent denied. And this is the paperwork on that. This is the paperwork on that. Final office action. Denied 50 some claims. And that examiner early on wanted me to cancel all my claims, and he suggested a claim that he felt would issue. It was a poison. I didn't know it at the time. I didn't understand biochemical patentese. That's why I contracted with a biochemical patent attorney. I was a slave. I was an idiot. So I prior to getting the phone transcripts and the emails, I after receiving the notice, final office action, patent application denied, uh, I contacted Badlow. And I told him that, excuse me, I told Badlow that I had entered into an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, with a man who was a genius, a genius, and a cannabis guru, cannabis connoisseur, cannabis guy, and a patent attorney, Badlow. And guess what this patent attorney told me? He said, it looks like you're on your way to issue and you have multiple patents in your original application to pursue. And Badlow, I don't feel like I'm on a level playing field. Badlow responds, you're not. Oh, I'm not. Well, that's some kind of fucking reassurance. Tells me sometimes a phone call can take care of these situations. Well, that phone call was very expensive and it happened, and my patent issued. And now I am in a situation where I need money for the issue fee. I need money for the continuation application that has to happen before the patent issues. And the clock is ticking for payment for PCT, which gives me time, a short period of time, about a year and a half, to file the international patents. Well, I'm writing an open letter, and what I really want is a date. And that's really all I wanted, was a date of the email of the patent office examiner's email, where he offered up the claim for me, the poison. Well, Badlow didn't send me that. What he sent me was phone transcripts and phone records, which in and of itself is, it's nothing. However, I found the email. So now I have the proof, and I have the phone transcripts, which now are damning. They are damning, very fucking damning. And and I had paid the issue fee. I paid the continuation fee, and I contracted with two other British agents that were cannabis attorneys who conspired with Badlow to fuck me out of all the international patents. Now, I'm still pending on a continuation application, and this should issue, because everything is worded the same. The only words that change are gum tissue rejuvenation and calcified plaque removal. That's the only words that change, other than the date's going to change and the application. I don't know. It's going to have a different number, right? Certain things are going to change, but everything was the same. Why? So that it would issue. Of course, these two fucking British agents that conspired with Badlow, well, what did they do? Well, first they tried to gaslight me. After the date passed, no international patents, I'm getting these long fucking emails, which is to gaslight me, which is to, boy, did I bit my tongue, man. I could see through this shit. What they were trying to do was gaslight me to get me to say something so that they could send the fucking policy officers over here to fucking incarcerate me, right? Those emails have all been vanished. They're gone. And I've not heard from these British agents since. And keep in mind, they got half my intellectual property in a fraud, which means they don't have it, but they think they have it because that's how they think. And the continuation application comes and goes, right? Because the patent office denied it instead of issuing it. So there's lots of old YouTubes where I discuss this stuff in detail. So again, why do you not have good oral health, or at least the opportunity for it? Tuesday, April 20th, 2021, email to Ethan from R. Reams Badlow, British agent, patent attorney, treasonous fuck. I wrote an open letter. And I sent the open letter, which had one of Badlow's emails in it. We can keep on file whatever you have sent. I asked him to preserve all my records. However, I'm not going to take the time to read through and digest the info. Of course not. Yes, you are probably correct that the examiner was corrupt and in cahoots with one or more industry players. Yeah, like you, Badlow. You fuck. You treasonous fucking British agent. You fucked me for years. Sucking my money, playing his fucking bullshit. This goes on. However, being a whistleblower and making such info public usually isn't a profitable endeavor, even though you are probably mad as hell at their attempt to steal your invention or at least quash your ability to protect it. These motherfuckers forced me to live in poor oral health, poor overall health, destroyed my fucking business, and deprived the world of good oral health with cannabis. This is for man and mammal. This is for your pets, for the livestock, and for you. This goes on. My recommendation would be to think about just laying low for a while and working on licensing or otherwise commercializing the invention. Fat fucking chance of that happening. To get that done, it would probably be best to avoid becoming someone that no one will deal with as a result of the likely ongoing fear mongering by your opponents, who are undoubtedly likely still active in scheming against you in one form or another. Email from Badlow. Remember, I won the patent. I have the scientific proof. I've had signage at the road now since December of 23. Free weed, free seed, free plants, free clones. How many takers? Zero. I have not had an evaluation of my mouth rinse since 2020. Not one. Pussies. Morally bankrupt Americans on their fucking knees won't fucking stand with a man for anything. For anything. And that's why you are suffering with poor oral health. I'll take a look at the chat. Check here. Nothing. Nothing on Rumble. I'll check YouTube and see. Got any comments on YouTube? Huh. See, no. All right. Top messages, 2, but there's nothing here. All right, so that's what I can tell you. I can tell you a lot more. I can tell you a lot more. I want to know where the fuck are the men? Oh, they're in their man caves with an ice pack, nursing their poor oral health. That's where they are. That's where all the men are. All right, everybody. The gag is off. I'm fucking pissed. These motherfuckers fucked with the wrong dude. The National Institute of Health fucked with the wrong dude. The Department of Justice fucked with the wrong dude. The DEA fucked with the wrong dude. The bar fucked with the wrong dude. These fucking parasites in Kalkaska, they fucked with the wrong dude. I'll flip Kalkaska. You give me 5 fucking veterans. why don't you people, where's your heart? Fucking veterans, one of the highest suicide fucking rates. Save 5 veterans and get them here with fucking tools. The tools they need. So all I got to do is back down the dogs. You see, YouTube, Own Your Authority 10. YouTube, title, Own Your Authority number 10. Probably the number sign and then 10. That's me. And God, was that 20 or 21? I think it was 20. I think it was 20. Yeah, that would make sense. And old fat fuckford refused to meet with me time and time and time again. But this day, I'm not taking no for an answer. And I'm there. I got my briefcase. And I'm not leaving. And man, the fucking cunt there, she says, he's busy all day. He's busy all day. I said, fine. I said, I'm going to sit here until he leaves. And on his way, if he doesn't have a minute to come out and introduce himself and give me a minute, I'll get him at the end of the day. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. That's the way it's going to work today. Well, eventually, after like, I don't know, it seemed like hours, it probably was. They said, the undersheriff will talk with you. The undersheriff will talk with you. Well, the guy who comes out to talk with me is not the undersheriff, but I'm not picking up on that. He's the jail sergeant. I spent, I think, 2.5 hours with the jail sergeant, but I only had enough memory on the phone to capture about 20 minutes, and it ends beautifully. For a cutoff, I couldn't have asked for a better place to cut off. And it's a 20-minute video. Well, something happened. See, I was there as prosecutor, and I had a court case from Gretchen Whitmer where she pled guilty in a court of law. Probably the first time that bitch has ever been in a court of law in her life, and she is a bar attorney. Probably the first time she's ever been put into a court of law. Well, I had many court cases. Badlow, the USPTO, the DEA, um, oh, a long list, um, including Kalkaska County prosecutor at that time, Mike Perot, the man who prosecuted May. And there's prosecutor with a warrant for his arrest, his case. And because the sheriff refused to meet with me, I handed the jail sergeant a case for the sheriff. The sheriff got served. Well, within 30 days, Mike Perot, the Kalkaska County prosecutor at that time, in the middle of his third term, boots, scoots, and boogies, make some bullshit excuse and boot, scoot, boogie. And that's still available on the internet. And shortly thereafter, the jail sergeant and the entire jail staff quit. And old Fat Fuckford and Wagon Tails had to move all the inmates to another county facility. I had no idea I had that power. Nobody told me. Nobody told me. Maybe 2 years later, I'm at the Village Police Department, Kalkaska Village Police Department, to report the corruption. I had the clarity of thought that, hey, the district court, the circuit court, the prosecutor's office, the court clerk, the sheriff's department are all in the jurisdiction of the village. So I'm at the village police, and oh my God, the fucking YouTube feed gets cut. The interview gets cut short. The guy gets called away, and he comes back with poopy pants. Old chief of police, poopy pants, and at the time, I'm not. At this time, I did not know what had happened 2 years previous after my visit to the sheriff's department. That the jail sergeant and all the staff quit. That the prosecutor fucking boot scoot boogied. I had no idea. And so I'm not putting it together. Fucking Poopy Pants is in a panic. He's in a panic, and he does not look good. That's a very short video. It's there on YouTube. I don't know what the hell the title of it is, but old Poopy Pants really was shitting his pants, and that's how he got his nickname. And later I figured out why. He didn't want me educating his fucking policy officers. And this is why I know. You give five men, 5 manly men, 5 alpha motherfuckers, 5 Sigma alphas, armed to the teeth for defense, so they can back the dogs down long enough that I can educate them, and they will leave. They will fucking have a come to Jesus moment, and they will fucking back down, and maybe they'll fucking get in line with me. But it's going to take some fucking men. It's going to take some fucking men to make a fucking difference. I can't even give this shit away. I can't give this away. I can't give a seat away. I can't give a joint away. I can't give anything away because you are fucking pussies. You don't have the fucking gall. You don't have the balls. You don't have the fucking backbone to say, hey, Ethan, I'd like to try the mouth rinse. Hey, Ethan, can we smoke a joint? Hey, Ethan, you got some seeds? No, you won't. You haven't. Where the fuck are the men? This is why you suffer with poor oral health. This is why everybody suffers with poor oral health. This is why you're fucking slaves. When are you people gonna wake the fuck up? That's what I want to know. When are you gonna wake the fuck up? All right, I think I've said enough for now. I love you. I'm gonna keep fighting, and I'm fighting for the children. I am fighting for the disabled. I am fighting for the elderly. I am fighting for the women. And I'm fighting for all you soy boy, skinny jean, fucking pussy men that got no fucking moral and no fucking spine. I'm fighting for everybody. And I'm fighting for the alpha males, the Sigma alphas. Will any Sigma alpha come and fucking fight with me? Stand with me? Do the right thing? Will ya? That's what I want to know. The fucking years are passing by. The fucking people are being poisoned by the British. Wake the fuck up. I love you. I do. I love you.